All right. It's Jared here from Crypto Plan, and this is Mining Charts by Crypto Plan. I'm going to keep pumping these things out, even though people don't really want to be watching them right now, because in the future, people will be looking for these videos because they would have then realized that they should have bought in so long ago at these times before the money's flooding in, right? So before the retail investors FOMO in, before, the commodities boom is like the tech bubble and is like the dot-com bubble, which it will be. For those of you that do watch it and you do listen and you do your own research, you can get in early on these kind of things. So please like the video and watch it to the end so it helps out the algorithm, because everyone should know about Greatland Gold. So we're going to have a little bit of a talk about Greatland Gold, and I guess a personal story of mine that helps tie in with the bull thesis on this one. So Greatland Gold is an explorer of gold and other mineral resources. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that they're an explorer. They're looking to find the gold, and they've actually found it, and they have done a deal with Newcrest Mining where they do a lot of the work and basically are creating the mining, or doing the mining for them, to eventually have a 70% stake of a large gold and copper resource. I won't go into all the details because that's not my thing. There is plenty of YouTube videos out there where you can listen to the CEO talk about that. Just YouTube Greatland Gold and you'll find all about it. Super exciting project. We'll get over to the chart and have a look at why it's super exciting and what's happened in the past and why we wish we probably got in a little bit earlier, but we're still early on this one, and I'm going to outline that case. The key thing about this company is that, one, big resource of gold and copper. Gold prices going up, copper prices going up. So we're in a good part of the cycle. The money hasn't flooded in yet. It's trickling in. It will flood in. The gold price goes up, this stock goes up. The copper price goes up, this stock goes up, right? It's in a correction at the moment, which we'll see on the charts, which is a perfect time to buy in corrections, as we all know. The other thing is that they are actually digging towards the resource right now. And unlike other mining operations that are starting up a new mine or starting up a new resource, they don't need to build a mine because, and I'm going to pause for a second. Yeah, here we go. Because the current intention of both parties, that subject to exploration and the positive feasibility study, blah, 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 that's already happened, it will be processed at Newcrest Telfer Gold Mine, which sits 45 kilometres to the west of Havieron. Now, I know how big that mill is personally. I used to do a job when I was younger, in between being a roadie and a musician and whatever, jack of all trades, master of none that I was when I was a kid. I used to swing a sledgehammer, well actually in this case it was a giant pneumatic hammer, at the ball mill to knock out the lifters that turned the balls around to crush the ore. What a massive job it was, and they had two of the biggest mills I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, I haven't been to every gold mill in the world, but I've been to a various amount of them, from the smallest ones where I could barely crawl inside the mill to these ones where you could fit a truck through the hole, right? So if they're planning to use that mill, I don't think they're going to plan to use it for a small amount of ore. I think they're going to work the SHIT out of it, right? So just by knowing that little bit of inside information, I kind of know that they're going to pump a lot of product through there and hopefully make a lot of money, which is good. Quickly, before we kind of go forward, there's a plethora of other projects that aren't in JV yet, right? So they've got, joint venture, Scallywag, Fire Tower, Panorama, Ernest, Giles, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of exploring going on, and it's in Australia mainly, which is good. But the other beautiful thing is that this company is on the London Stock Exchange. So it's kind of like out of the, 100 million mining companies that are on the ASX, right? So it's kind of like a big fish in a tiny little pond, right? So it's going to attract a lot of investors at some point. It probably already has a lot of investors, but it's going to attract a lot more. You know, Newcrest, huge miner, they're in there. They've done mining before in that area. They know everything. The permitting's being done. So it's kind of like all the speculative upside of a junior explorer, but with the zero downside of, you know, a major tier miner. So brilliant thing. It's kind of like the the Mag Silver and Fresnillo kind of combination, where Fresnillo's got the earn in, getting most of the silver, most of the money, but they're doing all of the work, you know. So these guys literally are driving the brains of the project while the big mining companies do all the hard work, and they just split the profits down the line, right? So that's the fundamentals out of the way. You can do all of your own research. I am not one of these YouTubers that is just going to read for you, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so what I do is analyze charts, and we're looking at the chart now, and we're seeing that this stock listed a while ago in 2007, it kind of peaked up there in the last peak of the gold and silver cycle, 2011. So its all-time high was there. That would have been a very early stage speculation play then, all the way down, found a bottom, and it has recently broken all-time highs, right? So if we kind of zoom in, and we're on a weekly chart now. So if we zoom in there, and I'll even go and put that line on there for us. All-time highs was there. So you can see that since it kind of breached all-time highs, pulled back a little bit like they do, and it's developed a little bit of a bit of a channel to the upside that it is playing in, and fingers crossed it keeps playing in this channel, because to me it says that from this correction it's kind of going to go sideways and slightly creep up over this, and then kind of, you know, head on to the upside and eventually test the upper boundary of this channel at some point in the future. Now, all things going well, you know, but at least upside potential is there, and because of the conditions of the economy, the environment, the market, these stocks are going up well because of what they have, which is ounces in the ground, gold, price of things going up. So it's kind of no different than playing the Bitcoin miners when they went really parabolic while the price of Bitcoin was going parabolic. So as soon as gold takes off, these kind of stocks are going to take off. So it's the perfect time to be buying into gold miners, and in particular gold miners that are just turning into producers, you know. So this is a perfect opportunity to get in on this correction. You know, I think that's 18 pence or 18 pounds, 18 pence. So the 18 pence there was the kind of the low, and we're only going to see upside from here, which is super duper cool. And it would be good to see this stock get into the pounds within the next couple of years, you know. But like, don't be afraid, of seeing particular stocks like this that have had a good run and pulling back. And I think initially when I saw this stock, I was like, oh, it's had a good run, you know, it's out of its base. But you know what? I've missed out on the bulk of, I've missed out on a good bit of gains, you know. And I think at the top, this, is the difference between, a 50x and a 100x. And I get that, but you'd still take a 50x at the end of the day, right? Because that's what these things will end up being, and I'm just going to pull up another chart, which I'll show you, like similar charts that, what happens to these kind of smaller juniors that find their first like big winner and then they go on to do great things. Okay, so we're on the chart now of the Northern Star Resources. So the current CEO of Greatland Gold is the man that ran this company all the way up to this, well, not even meteoric rise, this very, very steady rise to being a solid major producer of gold in Australia. So Northern Star went from probably having one good asset like that to lots of good assets, and this is the journey along the way. And we can only just see that even if we called kind of this correction here, where we're at now, we've got 2,794x from for example, where we were to, from cycle to cycle, right? And this stock itself is going to go up even higher. So if we kind of do that again of, really kind of getting, so that 2012 would have been the peak of the last gold bull cycle. So even, so if we go, from here, even say that, if that's the peak and that's where we're heading, that, we could potentially be doing something like that. All speculation, but the reality is that, if you're here somewhere on the chart and then in the future, 10 years later, you could be somewhere on the chart, and to put a bit of your spare change in to a stock like Greatland Gold, into a stock like Greatland Gold there, my kind of initial measured move targets, somewhere in the kind of, I guess the 20 bagger, 17, 18, 20 bagger mark. So, that's just based on charting only, pending good discoveries, good partnerships with Newcrest there, linking up with other good miners around Australia, good jurisdiction, moving into a solid bull run that's probably going to peak out in, 3 to 5 years. These sort of stocks continue to go up, even when the bull cycle is over, if you know what I mean. So, this is a good one. Do what you like, do your own research. It's all out there on the internet. You can think that you're late like I did. I thought I was a little bit late. I probably could have got in around there. Anyway, it's pulled back. I've got in around, the 20 pence mark. I'm happy. I'm going to add to this position. I'm going to ride this position all the way to the top, once again, because of those fundamentals, that small amount of fundamentals that I'm aware of, that mill that they're going to use is one of the biggest mills I've ever seen. So if they even use one of those mills, they're pumping a lot of ounces through, right? So there's a lot to come, and I'm assuming that they're only going to continue to prove out the current resource. Once they get to the head of it and start mining it, they can start drilling from inside it and expanding it out and, basically just create a large mine life and a continuous cash flow there. So Greatland Gold is a buy for me. It's in my portfolio. I will continue to add to it, and I will keep you updated if you're into these kind of stocks. So I've been Jared. This has been Crypto Mining Charts by Crypto Plan. And please subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.